it's always kind of emotional the first time. So I hope I'm going to be able to repeat it in the future, but at least, you know, P6 and second in the group in Mexico, pole here, it shows that, you know, if we put it together, we can do a good job.
With a new team as well, and this is your 15th pole position, which just goes to prove with your emotion earlier on that you never get complacent.
Yeah, no, you always want more. You know, I'm doing the best I can. I'm always trying to get better, do a better job. So today it's kind of nice, you know, because for the last 2 years I've been trying really hard, you know.
All right, Seb, it's lovely to see you smiling. Let's go and find Sam Bird, a Brit in the Jag, who is third on the grid. Where is he? It's very easy to miss Sam Bird because he's only 4'3". Here he is, he's doing some selfies. Get in there, Sam Meyer.
Hello.
How are you, pal?
I'm very well, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Congratulations on a good qualifying session.
Thank you, mate. Is it colder up there, or...?
Well, it's nice to see a smile on your face. I know it's been tough the last 12 months, but this is where we're used to seeing Sam Bird.
Yeah, it's a circuit that I get on with well. I think Jaguar have given me a great car, so really enjoying it, Vernon. And I knew that the pace was there in Mexico. I just didn't have the reliability at that certain circuit to show it. But the guys have worked super hard. Like, we've improved so many areas, and it's testament that we've got 3 cars in the top 6.
And you and Seb into your 100th race. Is that a celebration, or is that kind of, wow, have I been here that long?
Let's hope that me and him are fighting for the win in our 100th race. So that's the plan.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Sam. And it's great to see you up here, my friend.
Thank you, mate.
All right, let's go over to Nikki, shall we?
Well, I'm down here, 7th on the grid with Lucas Degrassi. Very serious technical question. Does this music help you get in the mood before the start of a race?
I was not even paying attention.
You were dancing earlier.
You were dancing, actually, not me.
Fair enough. So obviously, a podium finish in Mexico. Absolutely phenomenal race from you. Starting from P7, the performance from the car is looking really positive.
Yeah, here's a completely different race from Mexico. Temperature-wise, it's much colder, it's at night. The amount of what you really need from the car is also totally different from Mexico. I think we're in a much stronger position in this race than we were at Mexico in terms of technical development also of the car. We improved a lot. Not so much in performance, but in the race situation, we found we learned a lot in Mexico. So we're going to see how it performs now.
Now, you were just having a sort of a bit of a briefing with your engineer. Without giving all your trade secrets away at once, can you give us a bit of an insight into what you were discussing?
No, we're just going through the checklist, which settings we need on the car, what I need to do, which buttons need to be pressed, at what time, how we're going to communicate, how we're going to talk about strategy and so on. So just nothing new, just going through exactly what we need to do for this race so there is no mistakes.
Reminder. How do you prepare differently for a night race?
Not much. It's just like you put a clear visor because, of course, you have no sun. There is a lot of glare from these lights. But apart from that, the biggest difference is the temperature. The asphalt is very cold, the air is cold, so the front tires will suffer a lot.
Lucas, always a pleasure to speak to you. We'll see you at the end of the race.
All right, just quickly, Dan, I know you're getting ready. It's very exciting, and it's really impressive that you've put the Neo this far forward on the grid.
Yes, it was.
You have to put it underneath.
Yeah, it was a good qualifying, to be honest. It's a shame in the semi-final. I lost it the last corner. I think I could have been on the front row. So, feel a little bit bad for the team, to be honest. But overall, you know, looking at where we were last year, I keep saying this, you know, it's just very positive. So, still don't know how we're going to do in the race. But, yeah, I'm going to just try and stay where we are and get some good points.
You've mentioned that the car has got that 1 lap pace, but has it got the pace for a race?
At the moment, it's still kind of unknown. We haven't really done enough. I think our 1 lap pace is definitely going to be where we excel, but you know, let's see. I'll do my best, irrespective.
All right, Dan, all the best. And I've said it before. Well, I said it in Mexico. I'm going to say it again. If you can find Dan Ticktum on the Xbox for Call of Duty, then he is someone to watch. Right, let's go over to Nikki, who is with, I think she's with Jake Dennis.
Under his helmet. Yeah, he's here hiding under his helmet, right, Jake? Sorry, this is probably going to be an interesting interview. But, you know, our current championship leader, not quite where you want it to be. What happened?
No, yeah, a bit of a difficult qualifying. We certainly had the pace to be into the duels. You know, we were 6.5 tenths up on that final lap, and then just a small mistake in that final chicane cost us, yeah, to be starting at the front. But nevertheless, I think we've got an efficient powertrain, and we can try try and fight through. We've got 4 Porsches very close to each other, so it's going to be interesting to see that. But looking forward to the race.
Right, thanks very much. Good luck, Jake. Right, Vernon, have you managed to find everyone, or should I just keep wandering? All right, let's see who we can find. I mean, most of the drivers are now jumping in the car. They're actually clearing the grid, but because we have our special red badges, we are allowed to carry on walking. I think there is now actually a rather incredible air show going on at the moment. Some drones up in the sky. Vernon, can you see this? Are you watching?
Yeah, we are watching, Nikki. Thank you very much. Ian James has just run off. We were about to talk to him, but he's run off. He must be a drone fan. Karun, you've been here. You've been a driver. What's going through your mind? What's the thought process now as you sit on the grid with all this going on around you? It must be such a distraction.
Yeah, I mean, the noise and the music is certainly a distraction, but you're just focusing on the opening lap. You know, these drivers here, you can have a look in René Rast's cockpit. If I get our cameraman to go in, you see he's looking at his dashboard. He's fiddling through the buttons. On the left is
hiding his settings. I like that.
Well, there you go, Stephen Lane, helpfully putting a clipboard in front of the dashboard to block it out. Don't worry, we'll stop looking. Yeah, and they're just trying to get all the settings in position for the start. They want to be in the right maps for the start. They want to be, look at the engineer there. He's making the calls, looking at, you know, the plan they've made in advance, right? For the opening lap of the race, what do they want to be in terms of regen, in terms of acceleration off the line? You know, just making sure that they got it in the right place so the driver can take that out of their mind. Because in the first lap, you don't want to be looking at the steering wheel. You want to be looking at the track in front of you and position yourself in a way that you're racing well, wheel to wheel.
Yeah, it's interesting that, and especially with Formula E, because we do race on tight circuits, they do get their elbows out, and there's been a lot of chat from yourself and Jack and Oliver in the comms booth about turn 1. Why?
Well, it's because it's so narrow. You know, when we go a bit further down, you can see we're here in René Rast's position in 5th, but the run from the front row to the first corner is hardly a few meters, and you know, it's when they get there, you go right and left. It's effectively turns 18 and 19 on the track map, so it's not where we're parked now. They go around to do that, but it's so narrow when you turn right and left, and we always see incidents. So they're all hoping the front row should be fine. Everyone else is just crossing their fingers and hoping to get through unscathed.
And there's one thing that we should talk about because of this track and the way it's been made, is the new braking system that we've got. The regenerative braking. What difference does that make?
Yeah, it just makes it challenging to pick your braking point because they haven't done a start in this temperature from that location with a track in this condition. So we saw last year lots of people locking up, some going in the runoff area. It could be more of that again now.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Really exciting. Nice to see Sunbird up at the top as well. But obviously, Sebastian Buemi, one of the old guard of Formula E, is up at the front. We are in for a race here in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia.
New era of Formula E. All 5 lights are off. And there's the attack. Whoa, super deep. Gone for it, and he's got it. That was a huge moment. Brand new car, brand new season. And we go green in Diriyah.
Well, if this captivating race isn't enough to keep you entertained, the course of the past few seconds, I mean, look at that there. We've got an actual games console in the air. This has been a drone show. 550 drones. It's about as high as Big Ben or the very top of the Statue of Liberty, and the butterfly, something that's indigenous to this area. And throughout the time that Vernon and Karun were speaking, we've seen one of the drivers running. The cacophony of what we've seen in terms of the synchronization has been absolutely wonderful, and it's all about the celebration of Saudi Arabia and Formula E coming together. We've seen the sun, we've seen the palm tree that's again indigenous to this area, but it's all a celebration and a recognition of when progression and ingenuity and ambition all come together. What we see is something truly special. We absolutely cannot wait for this race to get underway. Now, the lights we've just seen has all taken place in the sky, but what's about to take place is a race under the lights, and let it begin.
we get going for the second round of the season. The fireworks launch for round 2 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. This, the 2023 CORE Diriyah E-Prix. The sun has set here in the desert, and under the floodlights, we are about to have 39 laps of action-packed racing. You can see the grid all lined up there on the left-hand side. The drivers getting ready to go. Jake Dennis leads the championship after winning the opening race of the season in Mexico City. But here in Diriyah, we could have a new title leader within the hour. This is how the grid will line up then ahead of the second round of this season with these brand new race cars. Nico Muller will be at the back in the Abt Cupra. Kelvin van der Linde's making his debut in 19th. Eduardo Mortara crashed out of qualifying. Stoffel van Dorn's the rating champion. He's down in 17th on the grid for DS Penske. Andre Lotterer only 15th in the Avalanche Andretti, just behind Norman Nato. Antonio Felix da Costa is 13th on the grid. Sergio Sete Camara 14th for the Neo 333 team. Jake Dennis is the championship leader. He's only 11th on the grid, just ahead of Jean-Eric Verne. Into the top 10, Pascal Wehrlein is 9th in the Tag Heuer Porsche, ahead of Nick Cassidy. And then it's the two Mahindras on the 4th row of the grid. Lucas de Grassi ahead of Oliver Rowland, his British teammate. Rene Rast starts 5th on the grid. He was very pleased with his qualifying performance. Mitch Evans is glad to be in the mix in the Jaguar TCS car. His teammate Sam Bird starts 3rd ahead of the impressive Dan Ticktum in 4th. Second on the grid is Jake Hughes, who qualified 3rd last time out, but on pole position it is Sebastian Buemi for the 15th time in his Formula E career. Jake Hughes was mightily impressive last time out. Qualified 3rd, finished 5th, and he will be lining up 2nd here today. He's not quite sure what's going to unfold in the race, as none of the drivers are. That's the most fascinating thing. My name is Jack Nichols. Alongside me here in commentary is Oliver Askew, the former Avalanche Andretti driver. Oliver, Sebastian Buemi is the driver on pole position here. The team are all quite confident. Everybody thinks Buemi's got a real chance of winning this, but there's still a huge amount of unknown going into this E-Prix, as there so often is in Formula E.
The start of this Gen 3 era has been completely unknown. I'm really excited for the start of this race. We see a bit of a flopped grid compared to Mexico. We have the Jaguars up there as well, turning their season around quite quickly, having a short memory after Mexico's disappointment. Jake Dennis, both Avalanche Andretti cars, who I would say were the most competitive cars in Mexico, are outside the top 10.
So they've gone from the dummy grid, they now make their way around to the main grid. Where they were was the timing line here. We've also got a debutant, Kelvin van der Linde, who is 3rd from last here. He's replacing Robin Freitz, who got injured in the last race in Mexico City. So the 26-year-old South African comes into the fray for his first ever single-seater race. He's grown up racing touring cars and GT cars. I would be surprised if we see much of him over the course of the E-Prix, because that Abt Cupra team is struggling a little for pace and he will be towards the back, but great to have Kelvin here. And we head to South Africa actually in 4 weeks' time for the first race in Cape Town. Now, the race is 39 laps long. You have to use attack mode twice, go offline, pick up some extra power, and you can either use it in 1 minute, then 3 minutes, 3 minutes, then 1 minute, or 2 minutes, then 2 minutes. And we will get more into the strategy of that a little bit later on as the cars come round the bottom of the hill. On board with Sam Bird, who's starting 3rd on the grid in his 100th race for the Jaguar in Formula E. And he's racing for the Jaguar TCS team. Behind him is Dan Ticktum in 4th place in the Neo 333 team. This is his best ever grid result. He's only scored 1 point in his Formula E career before, which came last season, and now they are pulling up into their grid slots. Oliver Rowland lining up 8th on the grid, 6 podiums in his Formula E career. He's led races before, he's won a race before, but he's going to have his work cut out from 8th on the grid. A reminder, Jake Dennis leads the championship. Second in the standings is Pascal Wehrlein. Neither of them are running at the front of the order. Jean-Eric Verne as well, competing in his 100th race, as is Sebastian Buemi, who lines up on pole position. The smoke from the burnouts rises up into the desert night sky. You can hear Oliver Rowland just putting some temperature through those rear tyres, because this start is going to be crucial. The leader, the pole sitter, has always led at the end of the first lap in the last 7 Diriyah E-Prix. This is going to be a busy turn 1.
Keep an eye on the right, well, you're left now, but the driver's right side of the grid, the much dirtier side of the start.
The first corner is a right-left chicane. There's plenty of runoff space, there's plenty of room to avoid each other. We'll see whether they all manage to pull it off. 39 laps of racing about to get underway. The second round of the championship. Second round of a 16-race season. Jake Hughes, second on the grid. Sebastian Buemi on the right-hand side on pole position, the Season 2 champion. Hasn't won a race for a good few years now. How he would love to take a victory in only his second race for the Envision team. Kelvin van der Linde, the rookie, lined up at the back, and we're ready to go. Buemi on pole, Jake Hughes alongside him. The first of 2 races this weekend in Diriyah, about to get underway. The next one coming up in 24 hours' time. Green flag from the back. Bird in third. Waiting for the smoke to clear from the burnouts so that everybody can see the lights. And here we go. Buemi on pole, Hughes alongside him on the front row. All 5 lights are on, and we go green in Diriyah. Oh, it's a reasonable start from Hughes. Buemi's got a lot of wheel spin, and Jake Hughes in the McLaren on the left-hand side. Tictum's on the attack. Tictum right to the inside. Oh, Evans goes in and hits the side of René Rast. They all run wide. The Mahindras are trying to creep around, and there's a little bit of a collision at the back. Up goes Antonio Felix da Costa. Out goes Antonio Felix da Costa. He's in the barriers at the first corner, but Buemi did manage to hold the lead of the E-Prix as they come out of turn 21. Second is still Hughes, third is still Bird, and then it's Tictum, and then it's Rast, then it's Wehrlein, Evans, Cassidy, de Grassi. Safety car deployed. Safety car deployed.
Just a big accordion effect there in turn 19, the left-hander, as you saw.
Scott Elkins, the race director, who has pulled the safety car for Antonio Felix da Costa. He's managed to make it back into the pits.
I'm sure there's debris that needs to be cleaned there.
Yeah. So hopefully this won't be a long safety car period. There it is. So a big chunk of the car on the exit.
Yeah, box for front wing. Copy, box for front wing. Man, such a good start. The guys in front of me crashed. I had nowhere to go. Pit lane.
A disappointing voice from Antonio Felix da Costa. Just didn't sound like he had anywhere to go, but hopefully we'll see a replay here of the incident.
Yeah, well, I don't, he did start down in 14th on the grid, so he will have lost some positions. The safety car is coming in this lap then, so we're getting going already. Very, very brief safety car period. Great work from the marshals to remove that debris. So the safety car will come in at the end of this lap, and then the race will get back underway. And there is the Porsche safety car at the front. It'll come in basically at the next 2 corners, and that's not really long enough for da Costa to catch the back of the pack.
No, he's going to be in an energy-saving mode now, hoping for another safety car in order to catch the rear of the field. Buemi going to lead the field to the green. He's started and restarted races from the front before. Not a stranger to it.
Plenty of wins in his Formula E career. When will he decide to go again? Safety car is in. There goes Buemi. Gets on the power. And everybody trying to follow him as quickly as possible into the final corner at turn 21 and out across the line again. So very quickly back under green flag conditions. Look how close Tictum is to Bird. Everybody else neat and tidy down into the first corner. Andre Lotterer hassling the back of Jean-Eric Verne for 11th position. Jake Dennis has got up into 10th place because Rowland has pitted as well, so Rowland may be getting damage after being hit from behind. But we're on board here with Dan Tictum down the bobsleigh run in the early part of the lap. He's running in 4th. Sam Bird is up ahead of him.
Probably the most technical portion of the racetrack here, just balancing the car on the throttle. Now big break into turn 11. Ticktum made it known to us that he doesn't believe his car is as efficient as the others, so it's in his best interest now to at least keep position or make some moves going forward.
The interesting part is, when does that efficiency sort of bear fruit? Is it the first half of the race, or is it towards the end that you start to drop back? Roland's been in the pits and out again, but Sebastian Buemi is leading in the green Envision. The orange McLaren is second of Jake Hughes. Third is the black and white Jaguar of Sam Bird. Dennis going a little defensive to cover a potential move from Jean-Eric Vergne. Kelvin van der Linde still running in the pack on his Formula E debut, up into 17th now, as they come down across the line to start lap 3 of 39. Look how close Bird is to the back of Jake Hughes.
Dennis had a decent start from 12th now in the points in P10. Tires still not up to temperature, I would say.
You can hear them squealing as they make their way down the hill. Mitch Evans, well, he got involved at the start, Mitch Evans, with René Rast. Here we go. So it was a lot of wheel spin from Buemi, but he got away with it. Ticktum thought about being a hero at the first corner on the left-hand side. And then Evans, he was all locked up as he went into the side of Rast. Then there were 4 going into the first corner, into the chicane, and that's where Da Costa kind of had nowhere to go, really.
Nowhere to go.
Ended up in the wall.
An innocent bystander, and
whoa!
Who's that on the
That's
outside?
Van Dorn. Van Dorn going past both Nissans around the outside into turn 21. That was majestic
Heads up
from
driving
Stoffel
there.
Van Dorn. Here's the fight, though, and Bird's ahead of Hughes. Sam Bird has got ahead, and he's up into second place now. He's won here twice before, Sam Bird. Hughes in third, Ticktum in fourth. What can Ticktum do? But I think Bird versus Buemi is going to be the battle now, because there's only one reason Bird is that decisive early on, and that's because he wants to win the E-Prix.
Yeah, still a long race. Just 4 laps into the 39-lap race now. We believe Buemi may be on a slower pace than the rest of the field at the moment. He's kind of stacked a line of cars behind him. Sam Bird, not a stranger to winning at this circuit. Let's see the move here. Yep. Jake thought better of it. No need to fight the quicker car this early in the race.
So, big slide from Bird as he comes through 16. Is he going to go for this again? He's on a mission.
He wants to lead the race. You can tell by the body language of the car.
When Sam Bird is in this sort of mood, there's very little to stop him. He's one of the best overtakers in the field. So many drivers say if you see Sam Bird in your mirror, you know you're in trouble. He's pulled off some audacious overtakes over the years. He had a miserable year last season, never made it onto the podium while his teammate was in title contention. But Bird's back at the moment, and look how close he is. Fastest lap of the race, 2/10 quicker than Buemi last time through. We're on board, driver's eye, inside the helmet with Sam Bird as we come to the bobsleigh run. Look how much this track plunges downhill now.
Look how close they're getting to the walls. There's just no margin for error.
You hear the boom as he hits the curb.
Just balancing the throttle through this section. Now it's downhill and then a big compression at the bottom. You hear it bottom out slightly. But coasting and regenning energy back into the battery through turn 11, 12, 13. Now, one more corner until the back straightaway, where I believe he's going to have a shot at overtaking Buemi. So try and get a strong exit of this corner. And he does. He might have a look in turn 18 this lap. No.
How hard will Buemi defend? Holds his line. René Rast is defending a little bit further back, but neither Bird nor Buemi led a lap last season.
Tango 6, Alpha 9.
Good work, mate. Keep it up. Slightly up on Buemi.
So that is Bird giving feedback to the team of how much energy he has remaining, and they're saying, we think you've got a bit more than Sebastian Buemi. Pascal Wehrlein made up 3 places at the start, as you can see on the left-hand side. That's James Barkley, the team principal of Jaguar, down in the bottom, and he is watching intently. These are both Jaguar-powered cars. Envision, the green team that Buemi there in the lead is driving for, is powered by the Jaguar team. And these two have a long, long history of fighting it out for the lead. I remember back in 2016, they had one of the best fights for a win in Formula E history in Buenos Aires. The roles were reversed that time. Bird was trying to hold off Buemi, and now Bird is trying to get ahead of Buemi. Both in their 100th Formula E race, and he's close again, this time through 16. Oh, Buemi gets good exits.
Still might think about it now.
You can see the top speeds on the left-hand side, and he's not quite close enough still. None of the front runners are going into attack mode yet, which you'll see when they do. They go through the outside mode there.
So both cars, as you said, powered by Jaguar. I don't believe there's any team orders here, but probably some inter-team communication and understanding.
Look how much they're pulling away from Hughes.
I feel like I'm stopping too much.
This is a replay of Da Costa just on the outside here and just gets funneled into the back of Oliver Rowland.
The two Mahindras.
Yeah, that was on the opening lap. And Rowland had ended up with a broken front wing. He must have hit the back of De Grassi in all of that. But back to the fight at the front. Look how close Bird is. He's almost nudging Buemi as they come down to the bottom of the hill at turn 14. And this is pressure for Buemi, right?
He's got more pace.
He's a super experienced guy, Buemi. Multiple winner of Le Mans, a Formula E champion. But here we go with Bird again. This is the closest he's been. Up towards turn 18.
Oh, he's going.
Bird to the inside, Bird to the lead. Sam Bird takes the lead of the Diriyah E-Prix. Buemi drops down to second position. Lap 7 of 39, and Bird hits the front. He's won here twice before in the 7 races. And as he comes across the line to start lap 8, he is leading the way, but Buemi's still right with him. Hughes running in third then. Tictum still sort of with him in fourth position. There are the two apt cars. Kelvin van der Linde has now been passed by Eduardo Mortara, and that is Nico Muller, who's running at the back of the field. But Bird now out in front. Let's see what Hughes does here, whether he starts to close the gap in on Sebastian Buemi at all. Because Bird and Buemi made a bit of a sprint, but they're closing back in. There's also this fight, which is 5th, 6th, 7th. Rast in the orange car there, the McLaren, followed by Wehrlein, followed by Evans. And they are all right together as they come through. These cars look really great. Really, really great as they come through turn 16. I couldn't think of an appropriate language for a moment because they look so cool.
They don't look easy to drive.
No.
But it's good for us and the viewers. Many drivers very vocal about how these cars are testing their abilities.
Dennis has just got De Grassi, so Dennis is up into 9th position on lap 9 of 39.
Bird is...
Here's a look at Sam Bird taking the lead. Later on the brakes, and gets the job done into turn 18.
Textbook.
Back to this fight.
Definitely the faster car within the top 5 at the moment is Sam Bird. He's going to try and...
Hughes now is right on the back of Buemi. Jake Hughes in his first season of Formula E racing. Only his 2nd race. And he's fighting for 2nd with Sebastian Buemi. Felt like he should have maybe finished 2nd in Mexico City 2 weeks ago, but couldn't get the move done on Lucas De Grassi. We'll see whether he can get the move done on Sebastian Buemi as they come up the hill towards turn 18 once more. About to start lap 10. Whoa! Lock up from René Rast. Sends it in way too deep. And that allows Pascal Wehrlein to get through. Rast loses a position. Dennis activates his attack mode. And Evans is trying to get ahead of Rast now after that error. So Dennis activates his attack mode for 2 minutes. Verne does it for 1 minute. Lotterer also for 2.
This should now cause a chain reaction for the front runners to start to go through the attack loops. Buemi radio.
Similar energy to Sam ahead, similar energy.
Similar energy to Sam Bird ahead. We'll see that's Jake Dennis making the move.
Roger Griffiths, the boss of the Avalanche Andretti team. Dennis up to 10th place. And now Evans is right on the back. of the McLaren. Everybody filtering down through turn 14. Jake Dennis, remember, is the championship leader. And at the moment, as it stands, we go on board with him. He's trying to get ahead of Lucas de Grassi. These two were fighting for the lead in Mexico City 2 weeks ago. Now they're fighting for ninth, but it's not going to be much of a fight. Dennis in attack mode, breezes past. He's making really good progress here. Championship leader at the moment. Dan Ticktum activates his attack mode from 4th place.
And loses 2 positions doing it. So he's going to really try and make those back with the extra power.
So Rast, Evans and Ticktum coming into turn 1. And Ticktum needs to get ahead of these two as quickly as possible, really. Here's a look at Pascal Wehrlein in the Porsche. What's he up to? Oh, that was just him overtaking after Rast made that mistake. And then Evans tried to get ahead. Lap 11 of 39. Bird, Buemi, Hughes, Wehrlein, the top 4. But now everyone's starting to get a bit queued up behind René Rast. And Dan Ticktum at the back here in the dark blue with red flashes and white flashes and all sorts of flashes, Neo, is going to need to get ahead of these drivers as quickly as possible. Through the final corner at turn 16. Here come Buemi and Hughes. 2nd and 3rd. Are any of them going to take their attack mode this time? Hughes, oh, I thought he was going for it, but he wasn't. Evans off. Mitch Evans deep at turn 1 as he tried to get ahead of René Rast. Ticktum gains a place.
Don't know what happened there. Maybe had a braking issue or had a lock-up. And immediately lost deceleration and went a bit wide there in turn 18. Let's see replay of Fenestraz.
What's the French-Argentine been up to? Activating attack mode and hitting the wall. Fenestraz into the wall whilst activating attack mode. And he has been into the pits now.
Yeah, straight into pit lane.
New front wing for Fenestraz. Here's a look at it again. It's so tricky to get right, these attack modes. Oh, and there's a touch there. So that was Sete Camera getting hit by, maybe that was Fenestraz also. I don't know who that was hit by, but Fenestraz, or someone, hitting Sete Camera.
Going slowly through 18, trying to get right to go into attack mode. He eventually made it there with a little bit of extra help from, I believe that was a Porsche behind. But yeah, with that mistake from Fenestraz, it's so easy to you know, lose grip going offline there to take attack mode. It's so dusty here at this circuit.
Ian James watching Jake Hughes in the fight for 2nd place here. Lap 13 of 39. Sam Bird is leading by 1.7 seconds. Sebastian Buemi is 2nd in the Envision, with the McLaren of Jake Hughes right behind and the Porsche of Pascal Wehrlein right behind him. Here's Sam Bird's radio.
Tango Yankee RX.
Copy. Push a bit more, push a bit more.
Push a bit more is the message to Sam Bird. So they're happy for him to consume it. 5-second time penalty for Mitch Evans for the incident at turn 18. That must have been with Rast a little bit earlier on in the E-Prix. So that's not good news for Evans. Lap 13 of 39. Here's Jake Dennis running in 8th position. Right behind Nick Cassidy now as he continues to make pretty good progress here. Bird's radio.
Flat out attack, flat out attack.
So Bird has activated his attack mode, as has Pascal Wehrlein and René Rast.
He's done it by keeping position there as well.
Yeah. So that's a really good work for Sam Bird. He's now going to have attack mode, keep the lead, and have some extra power to play with. Really looking good up at the front here for Sam Bird. And here we go, on board with Bird on the plank, under the car, down the bobsleigh run.
You hear him coasting, then regen into the braking zone of turn 11. Coasting again into 13.
Now we're going to come through this right-hander and back up the hill. Here's a look at Mitch Evans. So this is him going to the inside and locking up and going straight on. I'm not
weird he got a penalty
I'm not
for
sure.
that. Maybe
yeah,
that's a different picture from what...
I'm not sure that's what the penalty would have been for, to be honest, but because nothing really happened.
No.
So I think the penalty must have been for earlier on in the race somewhere for Mitch Evans. Lap 15 of 39. Third leading. Buemi in second still. Now Hughes is starting to come under pressure from the Porsche of Wehrlein, and Wehrlein's doing it again here. He's in 4th place. He started the race 9th. In Mexico City, he went from 6th to 2nd. He's now gone from 9th to 4th, and he's looking at 3rd. So that Porsche looks like it's very strong come the race.
Jake moving up positions as well. Now in 7th. Eventually got around Cassidy. Cassidy in attack mode now. But can't say enough about Jake Hughes. Yeah, never been to this track before. Of course, hours and hours of experience on the simulator, being a reserve driver.
That Evans penalty was for the start on the opening lap, not that issue with René Rast. Now, here comes the attack again for 3rd.
Wehrlein still attack 1 minute, use energy to defend in 18.
So they are keen for Jake Hughes to defend, and he has managed to keep Wehrlein behind him for now, or has he? Wehrlein thought about it in the turn 21. We've seen a few moves there in the past, but you've got to be brave to do it. Wehrlein not able to get ahead at the moment. Lap 16 of 39. Hughes and Buemi are both yet to take their first attack modes. René Rast has joined this fight as well in 5th position. And he's joined the back. It's a queue for 2nd, really.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult circuits on the calendar to overtake. Pascal just trying to fill his mirrors and push the rookie into a mistake. But he's shown so far this year that he's difficult to crack.
Lap 16 of 39. Jake Hughes sets the fastest lap, fastest first sector of the race so far. As he tries to carry on that fight. There's the attack modes remaining. So those with 4 minutes have not activated attack mode at all to get their extra 50 kilowatts of power from 300 up to 350. Everybody, a little bit wide maybe from Buemi. Hughes' radio.
Okay, Wehrlein is out of attack. Let's just settle in behind Buemi now.
So that's Alan Cox, Hughes' race engineer, saying settle in behind Buemi now. It's the black and white Jaguar of Sam Bird that is leading this race in Diriyah. Then it's this 2nd, 3rd, 4th place battle. Buemi, Hughes, Wehrlein. Rast activated his attack mode, and that's his 2nd attack mode, isn't it? So he's out of attack mode, or he will be at the next minute and a half.
Yeah, Tictum losing a couple of positions going through the attack, so Dennis and Cassidy up 1.
Tictum, after running well early on, qualifying 4th, was worried about the efficiency of the Neo powertrain, and that appears to be the case. Lap 17 of 39. So approaching half race distance as we swing through turn 16. Buemi's still doing a reasonable job. We're on board with Hughes, who's trying to get ahead of him, but that message from his engineer was very much settle in behind Buemi. There didn't seem to be any... What was the message? Foxtrot something? Urgent
he's going
Foxtrot?
through attack now. There he is. He's lost a couple of positions.
And that is his first attack mode.
1 to his teammate, René Rast.
Foxtrot urgent, I think, was the message for Jake Hughes when he needs to make an overtake. He didn't receive that there. Lap 18 of 39. Across the line, down towards turn 1. Sam Bird leading the Diriyah E-Prix here in the Jaguar. 2nd is the green Envision of Sebastian Buemi. This is what the penalty was for. 5-second time penalty for Mitch Evans. The 2nd black and white Jaguar here, just locking up and doinking Rast.
Well, he looked like he might have jumped the start as well. I don't know if that's what the penalty was for, but I can't.
It was for hitting Rast, which I don't know. Opening corner is a bit of a harsh one, but he did hit him.
It's not like he took him out of the race. He eventually
had the same position at the end.
Yeah, snuck in front of him. So
right, here's energy remaining And René Rast has a little less than the two in front. And then more for Dennis and Cassidy in 6th and 7th. 8th is Ticktum, 9th is Evans, 10th is Verne. You can see the energy struggles for Dan Ticktum. At 19 of 39. Bird out in front. And look at Wehrlein. Wehrlein's carving through the field again in the Porsche. He's right on the back of Buemi now with more energy. Another super drive.
Energy's on TV. You've got the same as Buemi. Wehrlein in 3rd is looking good. He's 1% up on us.
So that's Bird, and Phil Ingram's Bird's race engineer, saying Wehrlein's looking good, and Wehrlein is looking racy here.
Very good.
In the black and red Porsche. 3rd place at the moment. Don't think it'll be 3rd place for long.
Very similar to race to what he had in Mexico. Started a bit further back, still within the top 10, and made his way up onto the podium. I would say that Pascal is Sam Bird's real only threat to win this race. Although you have another Jaguar-powered car in front of you, so maybe some inter-team communication again between the two front runners.
Only one victory in his Formula E career, Pascal Wehrlein, in what is his 50th race start today.
Okay, good job, Pascal. 20 laps remaining. Good job.
Carl Wilson-Clark letting him know that we're at the halfway point of the E-Prix. And by the halfway point, he's gone from 9th to 3rd. All he needs to do is go from 2nd to 1st now in the second half to be standing on the top step. And Buemi is getting a bit closer to Bird as he tries to defend from Wehrlein. The gap's come down by a couple of tenths on that last lap.
He's being forced to pick up the pace and possibly using some more energy than he'd like.
Buemi still hasn't activated an attack mode either. And if he does that this time around, Wehrlein will be through. Into turn 18 and 19. Does he go this time, Buemi? No, he does not. So they are biding their time. And look at Dennis. Jake Dennis in the Avalanche Andretti, the championship leader, is now at the back of this pack.
Increase ENO. Let's try and build a gap. Increase ENO. One more step.
So
that radio message was to tell Sebastian Buemi that they're looking to use attack within the next couple of laps, so he's raising the pace. So he'll be consuming a bit more energy over the next few laps, trying to build that gap to the car behind in order to not lose position once he goes through the attack sequence. But that's going to be difficult to do.
But
Pascal has pace.
Are they thinking more about the McLarens running in 4th and 5th? If they can build a bit of a gap to the McLarens, and then can be then safe from them. This is the view back from the race leader, Sam Bird. Down into turn 14. Apologies, 16. Now out onto the back straight. And Wehrlein will know that Buemi's got to go through attack mode soon. So he doesn't need to force the issue too strongly. Buemi doesn't go for it again.
The gap's not big enough, like you said, to the two McLarens. He knows he's going to lose a position to Pascal, but you're right, it's the two McLarens that they're worried about.
As I say, Jake Dennis from 12th up into 6th there in the red and white Andretti coming through, under pressure from Nick Cassidy. Then you've got Mitch Evans in 8th, 9th is Verne, 10th now is Ticktum, just ahead of Andre Lotterer. Then it's De Grassi. So the two both of the Mahindras have slipped out of the points. That's Eduardo Mortara, who's running in 15th spot. But here's Sam Bird in the lead. Still got a 1.2 second advantage to Buemi behind him. Dennis is in attack mode at the moment as well. That is his second attack mode of the day. And it's all very well, Wehrlein thinking, you know, he's got to take his attack mode soon, that's fine. Every lap he sort of sits behind him is a lap he could be trying to close in on Sam Bird.
He's also conserving energy by staying behind the car with a bit of slipstream. Jake Dennis in attack mode, looking on the McLaren of Hughes.
Yeah, so Hughes is now behind Rast, having been running in second in the early stages.
2% more than both McLarens.
2% more of both the cars in front, so that's a big advantage, plus the attack.
Yep, and he's got, this is the last of his attack mode, whereas Hughes has one more to take. But Dennis is going to run out of attack mode before they get to the main straight next time, but might be able to get ahead using energy. I said to him on the grid, I know you guys spoke to him as well, but I said, points from here? He went, yeah. I said, easily? He said, no, but, you know, maybe we can do it. He could be in the top 5 here by the end of this E-Prix, the way things are going.
I think he's even surprised by the pace of the Porsche powertrain and Andretti's cars this year.
Especially in the race. They are, because he was in a league of his own in Mexico City, the only one who was with him in that league was Pascal Wehrlein, who in this race has gone from 9th up to 3rd. Any attack mode action this time from Bird? Yes, and Buemi. So Bird and Buemi activate their attack mode, and does he come out ahead?
Push to take attack.
Lost
Push to take attack.
Yes.
We will be fighting Rast on exit.
Pascal's through to 2nd.
He's got ahead of both. He stayed ahead of both of the McLarens, and now Wehrlein is right behind Bird. Bird has attack mode, but Wehrlein has another attack mode remaining. So this is the front two now. Sam Bird in the Jaguar up against the Porsche of Pascal Wehrlein as they start the run down the bobsleigh. Here they go. Bird is in attack mode, so will have more power, but he won't actually have it by the time they get to the run up the hill. Here's a look at Buemi activating his attack mode and losing out to Wehrlein. And that's how Wehrlein got so close to Bird. Here they come down towards turn 16. Wehrlein's got 2% more energy than Bird. The Porsche's in a really strong position here.
Is he in attack or not? I need info.
Negative.
He's not in attack mode, but he's going for the lead of the race. Oh, so close. Wehrlein trying to take his 2nd win in Formula E. Sam Bird trying to take his 1st win in 2 years.
Well, his pace makes it look like he's in attack mode.
Yeah.
He still has 1 left.
Wehrlein still has a minute of attack mode remaining.
Okay, Bird is out of attack now. He's out of attack now. You're up on energy, 1% to him.
You can hear Carl Wilson-Clark's getting a bit agitated. He knows the win is on here. He's got a minute of attack mode to use at some point. Buemi's got 2 minutes after this as well. We're on board with Wehrlein. The thing is, with that extra energy, as we look at Florian Modlinger there, bottom right, team principal.
It's a little smirk on his face, but still quite serious from the Porsche crew, all glued to their computers.
When can he use it? Is it going to be up here? Here's Wehrlein's radio.
Let's go for it. There he is.
Let's go for it. Is the message? He's all locked up coming into 18. He's overcooked it. Bird comes back. Bird back in front. Wehrlein overcooks it as he goes for the lead. And that'll have overconsumed a little bit more energy than he would have wanted. Buemi's joining the party now. In fact, they're all joining the party now. Wehrlein's radio.
Okay, mate, good job. Stay calm. Let's go again.
Stay calm. Let's go again.
But will it be as easy?
Will he have the energy advantage that he did last time through? You could see him on the... That's the tough thing here. Even if you are on the inside, it's so dirty on the inside offline.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to make the corner. Let's see it again. The replay here of the overtake. Well, the attempt.
He's quite a long way back, isn't he? But breaks later, sends it.
Yeah, just no grip down low, and you hear him.
Look to the right.
Bird get back to power and
oh, lock the rears, I think. Oh. Super fighting. I remember Sam Bird last time he won it. He and Robin Freitz had a magnificent battle over the course of 4 or 5 laps. No pass this time. Dennis, though, is on the attack. Can't quite get Hughes. Wehrlein's made up 7 places. Look at that. Last time a race was won from 9th on the grid was Rome last year with Mitch Evans. Nick Cassidy is the car at the back of this queue in the 2nd green Envision. So he now has joined the fight. Haven't mentioned him once during the course of the E-Prix.
Tipped him out of the points.
Yeah, down to 12th place. So that's a shame. Here's Bird's radio.
try and save energy through the snake.
Try and save energy through the snake, which is this downhill sequence of corners. Still holding the lead at the moment. Lap 27 of 39, Sam Bird still holding the lead of the E-Prix, survived the attack from Pascal Wehrlein. Boemi in third. This is a great race, Oliver Askew. I'm enjoying this one.
Yeah, and because it's so difficult to, nearly impossible to overtake from turn 1 all the way through to turn 11.
Bird's going defensive now, isn't he?
Bird's going to have a chance to save some energy in that portion of the racetrack to kind of try and back up Pascal.
This is such a good fight. They're right together. That's the view back from Bird. Now we start to... Oh, so close to the walls. Here's a look at Dennis. This was his nearly move on Jake. No, he's got ahead of Hughes, I think. So Dennis has got ahead of Jake Hughes, and he's now up into 5th position. So the first and second from Mexico City, Hughes and Wehrlein, qualified 9th and 12th, and now Wehrlein's 2nd and Dennis is 5th. But can Wehrlein take the win? Here we go, turn 16 takes us out, up the hill and onto the main straight. Is he going for this time, Askew, yes or no?
Bird giving him a bit of a fade there, but Pascal's trying to go to the outside, probably not going to work this time by.
Bird goes in a little deep, Askew trying to get the drive off. Sorry, Wehrlein trying
I wish I was out there, but I'm not.
Wehrlein trying to get the drive off. Lap 28. This is just so reminiscent of one of your drives from last season. That's why I got confused. Feisty, fighty, quick. That's why I was.
Keep going.
Handsome.
Yes, sir.
Sam Bird still leading the way. Can he? The thing is, can he hold off Wehrlein for another 11 laps?
I think it's going to kick off here. Sam Bird wants to win today. Maybe in the back of his mind, wants to live to fight another day. Obviously has pace in that car, has found some pace in that car. If it is looking at a championship run, of course.
If it finishes like this, Wehrlein and Dennis would be level on points at the top of the championship. But something tells me it isn't going to finish like this. Bird, again, middle of the road. And he knows if he can... If Wehrlein has to go right to the inside wall, he isn't going to be able to get it stopped, just like last time. Into the final corner at 21. It doesn't matter how close Wehrlein is here through the downhill sequence.
It's impossible to overtake. That's what I was saying. Bird has been told that he has look at it there, he has a 1%, almost 2% deficit to Pascal. So he's going to try and make that up through this section by coasting slightly more than the strategy is telling him to. And then he's going to be able to deploy that energy on the back straightaway where it is possible for Pascal to try and overtake.
Nose to tail. Into the right-hander of turn 16. Oh, he's so close. He's so close. Bird had a bit of an advantage last time, but Wehrlein is as close as he's been. Into turn 18. Wehrlein to the inside. Wehrlein takes the lead of the Diriyah E-Prix. Gets ahead of Sam Bird. Can Bird fight back? Down to turn 21. Not close enough. Wehrlein got the inside and now has hit the front. And if it stays like this, well, would move into the lead of the championship, but Dennis has got ahead of Rast. Jake Dennis is now up into 4th place. But Bird down to 2nd. Just nothing he could do in the end.
Yeah, just a textbook pass there from Pascal. Sam knew he was coming. Yeah, he just didn't fight so much. He knows the car behind him is much better on pace and energy.
Because what they don't want to do is fight too hard and then end up having less energy than everyone and getting swamped by everyone. Pascal Wehrlein leading the Diriyah E-Prix. Sam Bird in second. Sebastian Buemi still in third. In the green Envision. So here is the order. Wehrlein, then Bird in second place, then Buemi in third. And Cassidy is fighting with Jake Hughes here. Buemi activates his next attack mode. Sorry, that's Rene Rast Cassidy's fighting with. So Cassidy's just come out of nowhere. Hughes is dropping back. Jean-Eric Verns up into 8th place. We're on board with New Zealander Nick Cassidy now. Running in 6th position through turn 1. So those McLarens are struggling a little in the race here, in a way that they didn't really in Mexico City. Struggling is strong. They're running in 5th and 7th, but slithering back a tiny bit. Buemi's in attack mode, and that has meant that Jake Dennis is up into 3rd. So Jake Dennis in the Andretti up into 3rd place from 12th on the grid. Remarkable stuff.
One of the most impressive drives from Jake,
in a remarkable race.
Usually his podium finishes have come from starting in the front, but now he's really had to fight for it.
Pascal Wehrlein leading the way. Bird 2nd. Dennis 3rd. Buemi 4th. Rast 5th. 6th is Cassidy. 7th is Hughes. Then 8th is Vern. 9th is Evans. 10th is Lotterer. And then running at the back at the moment, De Costa and Rowland after that contact on the opening lap.
Wehrlein still has an energy.
He's got an energy advantage and an attack mode remaining.
Yeah, even with that overtake.
Yeah. So what can Jake Dennis do now? 3rd place for Jake Dennis, and he's right on the back of Sam Bird. Down towards turn 14 we go. Bird is now 1.4 seconds back from Wehrlein. Pascal Wehrlein leading, but this is the battle for 2nd place. Jake Dennis and Sam Bird squabbling it out.
There's a yellow somewhere as well.
Turn 17, so it's here up the back straight, so no overtaking.
Someone's gone off potentially.
Okay, we get no copy from your radio. You should have 6.5 laps remaining, 2% more than Bird.
So they're not hearing Dennis on the radio. So he's having to, well, Dennis isn't going flying blind because in theory he can hear them.
He has all the information on his wheel.
Yeah.
How much energy he has. If he's going to make it to the end of the race. Although these cars don't have live telemetry being relayed to the pit wall, so it's going to be a bit confusing. This is a replay of...
It's Cassidy going through attack mode. Yeah. No, Buemi, sorry, going through attack mode earlier on. Lap 34 of 39. The fight on for 2nd position. Dennis has a bit more energy than Sam Bird. Fastest lap of the race currently is Rene Rast, so if Dennis gets ahead of Sam Bird, he will have the lead of the championship by 1 point over Pascal Wehrlein at the end of this E-Prix. How hard does Bird want to fight his compatriot?
Your radio, I get no copy. Do not use radio.
Dennis going for it for 2nd place, up into the chicane, and he's through. Jake Dennis into 2nd position. Wehrlein activates his attack mode. Dennis isn't quite close enough to take advantage of it, but he's going to be right on the back of Wehrlein. This is going to be a straight fight now between the 2 drivers at the top of the championship. Dennis leads the standings coming into today. Wehrlein was 2nd, and Dennis has got more energy. Can Dennis win this?
I wouldn't leave him out of the question. He's looking racy, both Porsche powertrains running 1 and 2. Very impressive, coming from a dominant performance in Mexico as well. Bird radio.
Head down, maximise efficiency. You've got more energy than Buemi and P4. These Porsches are about 1% up on us.
And this is a replay of Dennis overtaking for 2nd place around Sam Bird. So both cars in front have now finished their attacks.
Look, Wehrlein's gained 8 places, Dennis has gained 9. It's unbelievable the pace that these two have had over the course of this race. Wehrlein leading, Dennis 2nd, Bird in third. Fourth is Buemi, fifth is Ras, sixth is Cassidy, seventh Hughes, eighth Verne, ninth Evans, 10th is Andre Lotterer. But just so curious, we're going to have 4 laps to go at the end of this one. So I don't think we're going to get any added laps because we were under the safety car for such a short period of time. This will go to 39 laps, 4 to go, 0.6 of a second between them.
4 wins for Dennis and 1 for Pascal that came last year in Mexico. I think it's going to be an all-out shootout over the last few laps here, but do remember these teams are related with the same powertrain, so it's in their best interest to finish where they are, maybe not in this order. So both cars 1 and 2. Well, Pascal maybe 0.5% of energy.
Okay, we're
less.
down slightly to Dennis behind, 0.5%. Let's be clever where we're investing energy.
Dennis actually started 11th on the grid rather than 12th because Sergio Sedicamera got a penalty, but still a remarkable performance. Lap 36 of 39, make that lap 37 of 39. We won't have any added laps, and now it's just a straight fight. Be sensible was the message on the radio. And it's interesting because, yeah, okay, if this was some other person out in the lead, if this was Stoffel Van Dorn out in the lead or something like that, okay, maybe you settle for second place if you're Dennis, but this is the guy you're fighting with for the lead of the championship. Okay, it's race 2, but that's got to add a bit of something into it psychologically.
Yeah, of course, both drivers very experienced at this point in Formula E. Both know about the big picture. You know, things can turn the wrong way in this championship very quickly.
So, first and second is Wehrlein and Dennis. And then it is Sam Bird in third position in the black and white Jaguar. Then it's the Envision of Buemi, then Rast in the McLaren, and then that man, Nick Cassidy, in the other Envision in 6th place. And Cassidy has got 2% more energy than René Rast. So this fight on for 5th place. Both Envisions scored points in the opening race of the season. And Cassidy looking for a top 5 finish. Cassidy has never had a top 5 finish here, finished 7th in season 8. Penultimate lap of the race now. And Wehrlein still looks like he might just have enough to hold off Jake Dennis. Oh, Dennis is wide. Coming through 14, cost him a couple of car lengths. But he wants to put Wehrlein under the most pressure possible. 0.4 of a second between them.
He'll have one more attempt after this one in 18, Dennis Radio.
Pace, mate. Keep it up.
He's just filling his mirrors here.
Oh, I thought he was doing the big dummy. He was not. He dummied with a dummy. He dummied me. That's for sure. And Verne's got ahead of Hughes now, so Hughes is really struggling for energy. Cassidy's looking in a really strong place. In fact, Buemi and Rast are both pretty low. Final lap now, starting. Final lap of the Diriyah E-Prix, and they are right together for the lead. Pascal Wehrlein and Jake Dennis, first and second. Well, second and first, respectively, in the championship. We've got our early title contenders here.
Nobody else in the picture on track.
It's 3 seconds back to Sam Bird.
Pascal is in the catbird seat at this point, in complete control. Just saving a bit of energy through this section in order to go all out into the final overtaking zone in 18.
Final lap of a really fun Diriyah E-Prix. Dennis pushing it all the way to the walls through 14 to try and stop Pascal Wehrlein taking his second Formula E win.
You have to defend him. You have to defend him.
He's too far away.
You're going to have to defend him is the message. He does look too far away.
No defending necessary.
Wehrlein onto the brakes. Through the chicane. Gets it stopped. Neat and tidy. One more corner to go for the German. Dennis was the championship leader coming into this one. He still might be. Looks to the inside of the final corner, but Wehrlein holds on. Wehrlein wins for Porsche. His second win in Formula E. And Wehrlein wins the first Diriyah E-Prix of the weekend. Oh, and look at that contact across the line. But there's the celebration of Porsche. Looked in real trouble after pre-season testing, but now they have taken the win. Second place for Andretti. They'll be happy with that. More fights to come here. Van Dorn finishing ahead of Nato as he comes across the line. Yes. Rast held off Cassidy. Hughes lost to Verne. Happy Wehrlein on the radio. There is no doubt about that. Superb drive from the German, and he has taken the win. We'll see if we can have a word with him on the radio here. Pascal, it's Jack. You're live on TV. What a drive! Did you think you could win today?
I know they are working their asses off. Yes!
Top 3 cars, so Pascal to come through pit lane, and you'll follow it.
So delight for Pascal Wehrlein on the radio there, and he makes his way back into the pit lane. We'll be hearing from him, Dennis, and Bird on the podium. His first, he went all season last year without a podium. Buemi in 4th. So many, this is the problem, so many stories to get into after that one, but Wehrlein and Dennis.
I just can't get over the domination of the Porsche powertrain.
In the race.
In the race.
Like, that's the thing, but if they're coming through from 9th and 11th on the grid every week, sign me up. But yeah.
It doesn't matter where they start. They always find their way to the front of the grid, at least in the first 2 races this year. It's still going to be a development race for everyone on the grid. Obviously, these 2 cars and this powertrain have a head start on everybody. They have something figured out.
Yeah.
And teams will be up late tonight trying to figure out what that is to have another shot at it tomorrow.
And there's Dennis celebrating with his team as he drives past. They didn't look good, Porsche. I was really worried about Porsche coming into this season. Porsche were a bit worried about Porsche. Andretti were a bit worried about Porsche. But no need to be after that performance.
What a race, pal. Well done.
Sean McGill on the radio. What a race, pal. Sums it up. And Dennis leads the championship now. Well, still, but only by 1 point because he got fastest lap in Mexico City. René Rast got the fastest lap here, as he so often did in season 7. So Dennis still leads the championship, 1 point ahead of Wehrlein. But we'll get onto the points a little bit later on. But they're going to be, miles clear of anyone else.
Still early in the season. Don't get ahead of yourself. But yes, a demanding lead at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a long. Someone needs to figure something out and quick, don't they? Because Bird looked set for a while out in front. Once he got ahead of Buemi, you thought, okay.
I couldn't have predicted that.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words. It was Pascal doing some burnouts on the way to this incredible podium.
We don't need the dry ice with these Gen 3 cars and the burnouts they can do. Another Porsche powertrain 1-2 with Wehrlein ahead of Dennis, a Jaguar in 3rd place in Sam Bird. But a second career win for Pascal Wehrlein, and he had to fight right to the end. And Porsche finished on the podium on their debut here with Andre Lotterer a few years ago. Now they take their second win in the ABB FIA Formula E Championship. Wehrlein victorious in Diriyah. We got another race to come tomorrow. Jake Dennis leads the championship, but Dennis versus Wehrlein is very much going to be the focus. So, great performance. Bird there with the hugs as well. He's going to be so happy to be back on the podium. Had a horrible season last year. I know I've said it a few times, and he'll say it himself. I'm not just being mean. But Wehrlein is the man in this one. And it makes you wonder, if he could have cleared Degrassi a little quicker in Mexico City, would he have been able to catch Dennis? So many questions.
Impressive drive from Sam Bird as well. He quickly understood that this wasn't his race to win, and he's going to live to fight another day in this Gen 3 championship. It'll be hard for Jake to find any tequila tonight.
Very true. But he doesn't deserve it. He didn't win.
No, that's of course.
So,
he's got another race tomorrow as well.
Absolutely, and that is going to be fascinating, because even if they don't make it through to the duels, then it won't matter, right? Because they can still win, or they can still get up towards the front of the field. No doubt about that.
Let's say it's much safer to start up front as well. We know it kicks off in the midfield. 10th being the final position to pay points.
Sam Bird's first podium since New York in July 2021, which he won. Pascal Wehrlein, his first podium since Mexico City 2 weeks ago. And a really, really strong performance from both of them. We're going to hear from our top three: Pascal Wehrlein, Jake Dennis, and Sam Bird up on there on the podium with Nicky Shields. After a really, really entertaining Diriyah E-Prix. And we're going to start with Sam Bird, his first podium for a good few years now. He's probably happy.
Sam Bird, you came into this weekend saying you were going to turn things around, turn your championship around, and I think today you managed to achieve that.
Absolutely, it feels so good to be back on the podium, Nicky. I can't tell you, it's been a rough 12 months. But Jaguar have been amazing. They've stuck by me. They put their arm around me. And also recently, you know, we've had a very difficult Mexico to open the season, and the amount of work, the amount of sleepless nights that everybody at the team has had in order to get us to this point, this is a little mini victory for us. I get that Porsche are going to be taking the spoils home tonight, but for us, from where we've come from, amazing. Congratulations to everybody in the team, and we keep pushing.
But you did get to enjoy leading the race for a part, and then there was a lot of excellent defending going on.
Yeah, just trying to place my car to make it difficult for Pascal. I know that the grip out there is tricky, but he did a superb job. The Porsches look extremely decent on change of direction and minimum speed. We've got a little bit of homework to do tonight.
Excellent. Well, good to see you back on the podium. Thanks very much, Sam Bird.
Sam Bird then a high five with James Barkley after, as he was saying, a really tough season last year. Held on to the fight at the start, made the move on Sebastian Buemi, got to the lead of the race. Came under pressure later on, but still a very, very happy Sam Bird on the podium. Started third, finished third.
Jake Dennis, starting from P11 to finish second in the race. I don't think you were expecting to be on the podium today.
Not at all. Yeah, I thought it was going to be quite difficult to overtake here with the mountain section being so fast, but my God, the race car which we have is just unbelievable. You know, for me and Pascal to get another 1-2 from 9th and 11th is just a testament to how much effort's gone in. Full credit to Avalanche Andretti to give me the best race car out there today. You know, we closed it on Pascal at the end. I was pushing like hell to get the move done, but when you're racing a guy with the same car, it's difficult to pass. So, yeah, so happy. And, yeah, we deserve this after a difficult qualifying.
He wasn't going to let you finish this time with an 8-second lead.
No, but I just had to stop him getting an 8-second lead. So, super pleased for everyone. And, yeah, another 1-2. So, yeah, need to try and beat him tomorrow and beat everyone else. But nevertheless, I can sleep well tonight.
Absolutely, I'm sure you will. A fantastic result for yourself and the Avalanche Andretti team. Jake Dennis.
Second place for Jake Dennis. Involved in this melee at the start. Scythe through the middle and gained 2 places as Roland and Acosta crashed out. Overtook Sam Bird to get up into second place, but wasn't quite able to close in on Pascal Wehrlein. Still, he leads the championship by 1 point going into the second race of the weekend tomorrow evening here in Diriyah. But the winner is now speaking to Nikki.
Well, Pascal Wehrlein, another phenomenal achievement for Porsche. A 1-2. You can clearly see your team, the fans are hugely excited. How does it feel from your position?
Incredible. I'm so proud of these guys. Unbelievable what a car I had today. I mean, from P9 to P1, amazing. Like, I'm so grateful to have that team. Amazing.
It's obviously quite an emotional moment. There's a lot of work that has gone in over the last couple of months with the new Gen 3 car.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work. You know, we always wanted to achieve those results. I think here and there we had some highlights in the past, but definitely this year we wanted to do a big step forward. And I know how hard these guys are working. You know, I'm also quite often in Weissach and pushing with everyone, and especially also after Valencia, after the test, we were not looking that strong, so I know how many hours everyone has put in, and to start that well into the season in the first and in the second race now is amazing. And like I said, just thankful for everyone and for their hard work, and we keep pushing.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Keep the momentum up for tomorrow. Pascal Wehrlein.
Wehrlein remaining second in the championship after taking his second win. Fought to get past Bird, didn't get it done the first time, but stuck with him relentlessly, chased him all the way, and eventually made the move stick. And in his 50th Formula E race, Pascal Wehrlein held off Jake Dennis to cross the line, take the checkered flag, and win the Diriyah E-Prix. Superb performance from Wehrlein, really entertaining race. Let's go back down to the pit lane and to Vernon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jack. Well, I think Pascal Wehrlein has probably just won himself one of those exclusive watches that his sponsors provide. That was an outstanding race.
It really was. I tell you what, the most impressive part for me is the performance of the Porsche powertrain. Both cars coming from 9th to 11th off the back of a superb weekend in Mexico. You know, he should be handing the watch over to the engineers and the powertrain department, because they're the ones who've really built the foundations for this victory. I mean, nice clean move to get past Sam Bird, but I think Sam recognized that he needed to save energy. You know, he's 2% down, and the battle really was between these two guys. Dennis there at the end, you know, got super close to Pascal, and yeah, fair play to the, you know, these engineers here at the track and everyone back at base, because Pascal's absolutely right. They've done a superb job in terms of efficiency, and that wins you races and championships.
Absolutely, they really have. They seem to have unlocked something special that many teams haven't done just yet. So let's go back to the podium and celebrate with the winners.
Sam Bird making his way up onto third spot. His first podium in 3 seasons. Well, that's not quite fair. Sorry, that's Bohemia. It hasn't done a top 5 in 3 seasons. Bird not having a podium last season at all. And he climbs up onto the third step. Just checking it's the right one. It is. His 23rd podium in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Sam Bird.
Second place from Avalanche Andretti is
Second place is the championship leader, Jake Dennis, albeit by only 1 point. But that's enough for now. What a season he is having. 2 races in. High five with Florian Modlinger, the team principal, who's up there representing Porsche.
And now, our winner from Tag Heuer Porsche.
But now, the winner
is Pascal Wehrlein.
Pascal Wehrlein for the Porsche team, their second victory in the series. Wehrlein's second win in Formula E. And up onto the top step. You heard what it meant to him on the radio.
والآن مع النشيد الوطني للمركز الأول. And now the national anthem of the
And now
winning
it'll be
driver and
the
winning
national
team
anthem
from
for
Germany.
Pascal Wehrlein and Porsche. German national anthem for Porsche and Wehrlein.
Congratulations to all our winners. Please welcome
And
to
now
the stage Saleh Abdullah Kamil, board member
Trophies
of
will be handed out.
to present the trophy to the winning team, Tag Heuer Porsche.
Board member of CORE here, Saleh Abdullah Kamel, handing the winning team's trophy to Porsche. For all of those guys, is the message from Florian Modlinger.
And now please welcome Carlo Battagli, the CEO
Carlo
and
Battagli,
founder
the
of
CEO and founder of
to
CBX.
present the trophy of the third place driver, Sam
Promoter
Bird.
of this race here in Diriyah, hands the trophy to Sam Bird in third place. Now the Vice
Next,
Minister of the
please
Ministry of
welcome
Sports, His Excellency
Badr
Al-Qadi,
the Ministry of Sports Vice Minister, to present the trophy of the second place driver, Jake Dennis.
and he hands the trophy out to Jake Dennis in second spot.
And finally, please welcome His Royal Highness Khalid bin Sultan Al Faisal, the Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, the President of Saudi Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, to present the trophy to our winner,
The President of the
Pascal
SAMF,
Wehrlein.
His Royal Highness Khalid bin Sultan Al Faisal, hands the winning trophy to Pascal Wehrlein. Porsche in the fight this year.
And now it's time
Is
to
anyone else with them?
celebrate!
The celebrations begin. The fireworks go off here in Diriyah. We do it all again in 24 hours' time. And after a entertaining, if slightly subdued, opening race of the season in Mexico City, it has very much kicked off here in Diriyah. Remarkable race, enjoyable race, action from start to finish, and Wehrlein comes out on top. The ticker tape flying. And the celebrations beginning, but the learnings will have to begin as well. They might have won the last two races, Porsche, both with the Porsche team and the... He's crowd surfing, I love it! I don't think I've ever... Have I seen that in Formula E before? In the 9 years I've been doing this, I have not seen that, and I'm here for it. I also think you tend to crowd surf on your back, right? But Wehrlein going face down, look at what it means to them. Such a close-knit group at Porsche, I have to say, a real team spirit, and I know you can say that about all of the field, but it really is a cool vibe at Porsche. The selfies, the photos, and the joy. But like as I was about to say, they've got to refocus. They'll be here till, it's just gone 9:15 local time. They'll be here till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, debriefing and analysing. Here's a look at the results. Pascal Wehrlein taking the win, half a second ahead of Jake Dennis. Sam Bird finishing in 3rd. Sebastian Buemi in 4th spot. His first top 4 finish since 3 years. René Rast in 5th for the Neon McLaren team. Cassidy doing a good job in 6th. Verne managed to make it up into 7th place. 8th is Jake Hughes. 9th, Andre Losser, and Mitch Evans had a few issues in that race, I think, and ended up down in 10th place. So he'll be a little frustrated. Stoffel Van Dorn 11th for the last race he finished 10th, so still only 1 point for Van Dorn in his championship defence season. Tictum finished down in 14th with his teammate Sergio Sede Camera. Calvin van der Linde got a race under his belt and finished in 16th place. Eduardo Mortara got a puncture and had to retire, and Nico Muller retired as well with reliability issues. And as far as the championship is concerned, we've very definitely got a 1-2 up at the top. Dennis 1 point ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. Then it's 20 points. They've got double points of anyone else at the moment. Okay, we're only 2 races in, but then it's Buemi in 3rd, De Grassi 4th, Bird up into 5th. Losser, Hughes, Rast, Cassidy and Verne. The rest of the top 10 in the points. 13 drivers have scored points in the opening 2 races. Robin Freitz still with 0 points as well, as we wish him the best. Avalanche Andretti 9 points clear of Tagoya Porsche, and Vision are there in 3rd spot. 4th for Neon McLaren, 5th is Jaguar TCS Racing. No points still for Maserati, for Nissan, for Neo and for Abt Cupra. As I say, we'll do it again in 24 hours. We'll see you tomorrow for round 3 as the Porsche team flood the podium to celebrate their 2nd win in the Formula E World Championship. Pascal Wehrlein on the top step of the podium, trying to make sure the whole team are up there for the group photo. And there's Florian Modlinger. Maybe they wanted Florian the boss, maybe they just wanted the trophy, I don't know. And the driver of the race boat goes to Pascal Wehrlein, unsurprisingly. I reckon it was 49% him and 48% Jake Dennis, most likely, because those two just carved through the field. And Wehrlein is over the moon with this, as you'd expect, but you love to see it. Let's go down and get some more reaction from on the ground. Nicky Shields is in amongst it all.
Florian Modlinger, team principal of the Porsche team. Just describe this moment to us, because everyone here is grinning from ear to ear, including yourself.
Yes, it was a fantastic result for our team, for our car. The hard work from the whole team in the factory here at the track paid off, and we are really, really happy about this amazing result. Starting from P9, progressing through the field, and Pascal with an amazing drive, finishing on P1. But also Andretti with Jake Dennis on P2. Again, a double victory for the 99X Electric. Wonderful result.
Really is phenomenal. And, you know, this isn't our first race, our second race of the season. And he had a very similar performance in Mexico City. I don't think we've ever had such a dominant start in a Formula E season.
Yeah, but as you saw today in qualifying, we were not in the duels. This means we have to work hard every day, and every 10th of a second can change the game. And tomorrow is the next race. This means we need to work hard overnight. We enjoy the moment now, but tomorrow the next one comes up.
I don't know whether you could see the interview that we did with Pascal after the race, but you could see the emotion. It meant so much to him winning today. Do you think this win is more special than previous?
I think it's more special because we won last year in Mexico. We had a good performance again in Mexico this year, and we needed to prove that we are also quick on other tracks. And I think this was one big achievement of Pascal and the team and everybody at home today, and we proved it, and this was, for him, I think, quite emotional.
Well, Florian, huge congratulations to you and the team. Always great to see you and hard work pays off. Tomorrow. Thanks very much. Congratulations. Oliver, down to you.
I am with a very special guest, Andre Costa, my systems engineer on my car last year at Avalanche Andretti, now working with Andre Lauderer. Congratulations. Fantastic start to the season. Double podium here, a double podium in Mexico as well. You guys struggled a bit in Valencia and have really turned things around.
Yeah.
Tell us about what that.
Yeah, Valencia's been was quite hard coming through all the preseason, changing relationship with manufacturers. Formerly we were with BMW, now we're with Porsche. It was so much hard work to do. Our preseasons got short because normally we start the season quite later on. Now we had to go into Valencia earlier in the year. There's so much work to do, so much stuff to get into. New generation, new manufacturer is really hard. But nicely, Porsche have a lot of really nice guys and really talented. And our relationship has been growing bigger and bigger, so the results are there to show.
Sure, and tell us a little bit about what you do in the team. You're probably one of the smartest guys in the paddock.
I would never say that. My role is I'm a systems engineer. So basically, for people out back home, what I do is I make sure the car goes out and it comes back in. The portfolio engineers, the portfolio engineers make sure it goes fast. I just make sure it works. And with such a complex car, with so many systems behind it, so many electronic functions, because basically it's a computer. You know, you've driven it, and it's a computer on wheels. So there's so much stuff that needs to be exactly right to make sure that the car's performing properly. So it's really cool. It's a lot of hard work.
With the new manufacturer, Porsche, coming on board and the new drivetrain, what have you guys unlocked that others at the moment don't seem to have? Because the dominance of the Porsche car, it's obvious for everyone to see. I mean, been on the podium since we started the season, albeit it's only 2 races. We go again tomorrow. But what have you guys found out that others haven't?
I don't think there's any secret. We've managed to work as a 4-car team, and we're gelling in really well together between the two teams. And we've brought a bit on board of operating as a small team. We're only 20 people compared to Porsche with our close to 100 people working it. And we've brought some of our perspective into it. And we want to perform as much as you can, as efficiently as you can, because we're quite small. So that came along with Porsche, and I think we're coming to success.
Yeah, coming to fruition.
That, yeah.
Well done, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Hopefully the success continues. Let's go back to the podium with Nicky and Sam Bird.
Sam Bird, right, the celebration are well underway, but let's quickly dissect your race and the pace that we saw from your car today. Are you kind of relieved that you're now at a point where you can really challenge for the championship?
I wouldn't say I'm relieved. I was always convinced that this would be the case. We just needed to iron out a couple of things. There's been so much hard work, Nicky, that's gone on behind the scenes to get us to where we are now. I know that 2 Porsches have beaten us today on pace, but this is a small victory for us to get our first podium and move in the right direction. So we celebrate now, but we work through the night and make sure that we come with even more weaponry to try and beat them tomorrow.
I think ahead of all races, you know, there's a lot of prep that you guys and the team put in, but it feels different with Gen 3. It feels like everyone has really gone the extra mile.
I've never seen it like this. There's so many just exhausted people in our team and back at the base that have put in, they've sacrificed their Christmas, their New Year, their holidays, their sleep. They're just working flat out to try and ensure that we have a fast car and a reliable car. And thank you so much to them. This is a small step in the right direction, and hopefully many more to come.
Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to bring Jake Dennis in as well. Jake, come and join us. Sam, quick last question. Are you a bit worried about the pace that we're seeing from these Andretti and Porsche cars?
It's a little bit alarming, but you know, when you've got a pilot like Jake and like Pascal, these guys operate at such a high level. It's really difficult to beat them anyway, and they are operating at a high level. We're going to need to push very hard to beat them.
There we go. Proper sportsmanly words there. What do you have to say to that?
I appreciate it. You know, Sam's no slouch, so to beat him and obviously to come from 11th on the grid was something nobody expected. We knew we had the pace better than 11th, but I was happy with top 6, top 7, and to finish second was unbelievable.
It really was. And, you know, what is the strategy now going into tomorrow? Is it a complete reset? Is it come in with exactly the same setup? How much have you learned from today?
The thing with this track is it's always evolving. So each day, you know, the setup you ran today won't work tomorrow. So we need to always evolve with the circuit. And if we can do that, then hopefully we can have another strong result. But yeah, nevertheless, a huge shout out to obviously the guys at Porsche and Avalanche and Andretti to give me an incredible race car to fight that thing to P2 today.
And you're coming into the race tomorrow as championship leader again.
After the flag, I was like, am I leading it or is Pascal leading it? But yeah, nevertheless, you know, keep chipping away, keep scoring these points and see where we're at in London.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, guys. Do rest up. Awesome racing. There we are. Well, 2 happy guys, very happy guys, but they get to do it all over again tomorrow. So who knows what's going to happen. Vernon, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Yeah, Sylvain Philippe, the main man at Envision. Sébastien Buemi was on pole. Didn't get on the podium, though. Is that what went wrong? What went right? Just explain to us, please.
Sure. Well, what went wrong, I guess, is the pace of the Porsches.
Yeah.
So we are probably second best on efficiency right now, I would say, which is not a bad place to be, given, you know, not long ago we were in Valencia with not a lot of running. So, you know, 2 cars in the points in Mexico, 2 cars in the points here is not a bad start, really.
Everyone keeps mentioning the dreaded testing at Valencia.
It was a tricky time.
Yeah, I can imagine. But it's come to fruition for you guys. How do you change that race pace? How do you change that efficiency with this new car? Well, because I guess we're racing on uncharted waters. That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. It's a new car. We have a lot to learn. I believe our friends at Jaguar have developed a really, really good powertrain. The efficiency is not just the powertrain, it's the setup of the car. You know, what the motor inverter can do is one thing, but how much speed you can carry in the corners is another one. And I think
how do you change that? Just explain that.
Well, the latter you can change that with setup, car setup.
Okay.
The usual mechanical tricks that we have. So I'm quite confident long term that the powertrain is really good. But of course, from track to track, the setup has to be different. So I think we have a quite good setup for quali. The race, it was not quite optimal. So we have to, you know, compare the data tonight and hopefully we find some little changes that will help a little bit.
Okay.
What kind of information is public between the teams in this paddock? So what can you see that Porsche is doing differently to you in order to kind of close that gap?
Yeah, mostly what's public is mostly GPS trace. We can see for everyone and we can see the Porsches are carrying more speed in the S's. So that's clear. Apart from that, anything powertrain related, we can't, of course. But anything that's vehicle dynamics, we can. So that's the clue, really.
Yeah. And how has the simulation correlated so far? I know it's a completely different car. You're probably running the sim as much as possible, and I know it's such an important role in Formula E racing.
Yeah, it's quite good. I'm really impressed, actually. Given, again, new car, new powertrain, you're running new tires. Sometimes, you know, that's one of the hardest things to model. And it's actually really good. Like, we're not that far off from where we were at the end of Gen 2, so that's been really good. But what's tricky is that we are exploring this new car, and each track is very different to another. So track car setup wise, we're gonna have some learning to do. Yeah.
All right, Sylvain, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow, because we do go again tomorrow. All the best. Let's bring in Karun. Radzi, you may as well come in as well. Let's have a group chat. There you go, Mike. Good catch. Come on in. That was a really, really, really interesting race. There's lots of bones to pick up on, which we will do throughout the evening and then tomorrow. But Radzi, we've seen the dominance from the Porsches. I mean, that's obvious after the second race that they are here for the season.
They're here to stay, and especially given the season. I don't know what they've done. The Gen 3 cars, something works, it sticks, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, interesting stuff, right? Gentlemen, it's been a fabulous evening here in Diriyah, Saudi Arabia. You enjoyed it?
Absolutely.
Enjoyed it?
Excited for the rest of the season.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah, waiting for tomorrow.
All right, we go again tomorrow. We bid you farewell. Have a great night.
When the sun set in Diriyah, one will succeed.
All 5 lights are on. And we go green in Diriyah. Burns ahead of Hughes. It's up into second place. Burns to the inside. Burns to the lead.
Pascal's through to second.
Wehrlein takes the lead. Jake Dennis into second position. And Wehrlein wins the first Diriyah